Hello and welcome to Catamount Community Connection, our weekly public affairs show here on Catamount Radio. And we air this each and every week. I'm Brian Collamore, your host, and each week we talk with community leaders from the business, professional, nonprofit, and political arenas. Our show is brought to you by the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which has brought you the Vermont State Fair at Rutland since 1846. We're already looking forward to next year's fair, which will be the 180th Vermont State Fair at Rutland. And it coincides, of course, with the 250th birthday of the United States of America. So it should be a lot of fun. Today we have a very special treat. We have 4 guests in the studio with us, so we're kind of elbow to elbow. And we're going to talk about Stuff-A-Bus. And this is an annual event here in Rutland. Many of you are familiar with it. But I thought for the purpose of kind of getting a historical view, we would turn to Terry J., who I think was here when this all began in Rutland back in 1994. And I know from talking to John Pedone, it didn't originate in Rutland. I always thought it did, but it was a Maine event, M-A-I-N-E, not M-A-I-N, at some point in the past. So, Terry, welcome in. I don't think you and I have done a couple shows with the Christmas Fund, but I don't think you've been on this show for quite a while. But
yeah, it's been a while. So the first Stuff-A-Bus, I said, there's no way I want to be involved in this. I didn't want the radio stations involved in it. I thought it was a crazy idea. I was comparing the city of Portland, Maine to the city of Rutland, Vermont. I said, well, they're about 15 times bigger than us. And Chris McCormick was on the board of the Salvation Army.
Oh, okay.
And I said, Chris, go back and tell them no. And he goes, gee, Chris is such a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
Chris McCormick would not tell anybody no. And he goes, Terry, I'm telling you no. I'm not going to go back and tell them no. So I said, all right, we're going to do this, but just remember, it's your idea. And of course, when it worked, I was the first one to push Chris out of the way. Hey, look what we're doing.
Look what I did.
But listen, thank you, Chris, for sticking with it, making us do this, and turning it into something really special. And it gets everybody together every year. As we always say, it kicks off the giving season. This is what really says, wow, the holidays are here, and what a great way to kick things off by, doing something basic like feeding people.
So I'm remembering back, and I could have this completely wrong, didn't the Paramount Theater get involved 1 or 2 years where they actually put groceries on seats?
Yeah, that was a different event. That was Pack the Paramount. So this is same goal, same type of thing, except this is always around Thanksgiving. And of course, these guys run out of food, so we were looking for another thing to do to take us through the second part of the winter. So that's when Pack the Paramount was born.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is, 25 years, something like that in town,
Well, this is 25 plus, it was 25 years in 2019, so got to add on
30 plus years.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I was 17 when this started.
You big liar.
The first Stuff-A-Bus, it was a humble start because we thought, I'm going to stay on this bus until it gets filled up with food. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not going to get filled up with food. But that first Stuff-A-Bus, it was powerful. Back then, 30 plus years ago, Bri, we had a lot of our World War II vets with us. And those guys and gals, they went into the coolers at the service clubs and they said, hey, we've got this. And it was different back then. We look for non-perishable food items now, but back then they were thinking, all right, we need to feed these people. And the World War II guys, they had been saving the country since they were in high school, when they enlisted. So they came back home, they built America, and then they kept taking care of our community after that. And so, since then, we're always looking for who's that next generation. Well, that's us now.
Yeah.
And here we are trying to make sure that bus stays, and the next generation after us, and after that. And want to keep this thing going.
So I know from the work that you and I have done on the Christmas Fund, we learn things every year about how to do it better and things that seemed like it might have been a good idea. And I'm talking about people actually baking cookies and bringing them down.
Or pickles that drop on the bus and you smell like dill pickle for 3 days.
So we don't do a lot of that. But what are some of the other changes? I mean, we've had different supermarkets involved at times, right?
Yeah. And this year we've got different supermarkets involved again. We want to reach out to as many people as possible. We'll be doing a broadcast on SYB and JJR from in front of Market 32 where the original bus started. And it's so funny. I'm thinking of that original bus with Benji Bonilla flying a small hot air balloon out in front, and we got power off the power pole. That was we brought down an electrician. I mean, we've learned a lot over the years, but the basic thing is still the same. Watching something happen, watching something get built. Watching the bus fill up with food. And certainly we've had to model things differently since COVID, not just with Stuff a Bus, but everybody in every facet of life. Gift cards and money are always welcome. And the thing that people have to realize is that the message is still the same. We're taking care of the people in this area. And these guys that you have in the studio with us, Brian, these guys and gals face this every day. You know, you and I work on these projects and other projects, but this is something that they get to see both sides of it. They're in that enviable position of seeing things come in and seeing it go out. They're the ones that are connecting the dots. I mean, God bless you guys for being here. This is powerful stuff that the three of you do, that your organizations do.
Yeah, I haven't introduced them yet, but we're joined today by John Pedone, who's representing the Salvation Army, Amy Scott from Brock, the Bennington Rutland Opportunity Council, and also Audrey Bridge from the Community Cupboard. And each of them will have sort of a chance to weigh in about their role in this. I do know that from time to time, John, you can wander over here. We have a little bit limited microphone situation here, so you got to move the mics back and forth. Students, kids, which I remember being involved with that a couple times when I was on the bus doing a broadcast, and all of a sudden the third grade or the fifth grade or something show up from a particular school and give. We're still doing that too, right?
Yes, we. As a matter of fact, we were at two of the schools last week. We were at Rutland Town School in Northwest. And the kids are really enthused about being part of the whole thing. And of course, Captain Credit Union showed up, and he gets the kids all charged up to stuff that bus.
Oh, okay.
And that's their verbiage, stuff that bus. He gets them all chanting that. And Rutland Town School brings down a truckload of food. I mean, we had the banks, the credit union, send up a pickup truck to help pick up all the food from that one school.
Mm. And I've seen buses leave full. They put another one in, and we start on that one too.
Yeah, the primary location at Market 32, that's a large bus. It's a full-size bus. We fill that one, and they bring another one up on Friday afternoon or Saturday morning, and we at least partially fill the second one up.
Yeah.
But we're going to have one at Hannaford's in Rutland Town,
right.
One at Price Chopper in West Rutland, and this year we're going to have one at the Grand Union.
Oh, okay.
On North Main Street.
And that's the first time I think that we've been there, right?
I don't believe so. I believe years ago there was a bus there,
okay.
And we just never thought about doing it again. And Audrey went up and talked to the manager, and they said, "Oh, sure." So we're going to put the bus up there.
And you obviously try to catch people as they're grocery shopping. So this is a 2-day event?
3-day event, or 2.5 if we get done at 12 on Saturday,
okay.
Because we have to unload these buses and move them to the right locations after we're done. So we're looking for a lot of volunteers to unpack and pack the bus on Saturday. So it'll be nice.
Yeah, and again, this show will air on November 2nd, which is a Sunday, so we can say this coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is this year's Stuff-A-Bus.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
And like Audrey made up a list of items that we really want, and I'll let her talk more about that.
Okay.
That we post in the market so they can see what we really need when they're going to buy something for the bus.
And I know there's some, because I've been involved. I've walked by it, and there's a little twinge of guilt maybe, or you just want to help out. And so without even thinking about it, you wind up doing something that you might not have done otherwise. And I'm sure there are people that try to deliberately walk around. But, this is a community event, and it's been incredible over these, 30 years, right?
It has. A lot of this food, all this food goes directly back to the community.
Yep.
And for instance, Thanksgiving is coming up when we do our Thanksgiving baskets, and a lot of the food that we get, it goes to the seniors right away. It gets put into their baskets, and they pick the Council on the Aging actually picks up the baskets and brings them to the seniors.
So have you been involved for a long time with the Salvation Army, and how did this all come about for you?
I was hired. The unit here, the resource center here, was closed for a few months, and they hired me to reopen it. And so I took on this at the end of September 23. So basically, I just started doing. It's only been a couple of years that we started it, but we had to build our unit back up. Of all the Salvation Army sites, we're the only one with an employee. The rest are volunteers in the state.
And I can remember back, I won't remember his name. Chuck rings a bell, but I could be way off. Big guy at one point, and you may not even know him or remember him, or we were even around when he was here, but he had sort of that dominating presence when we were doing the Salvation Army. Yeah. What was, can you remember that, Terry?
Well,
he and his wife.
Chuck and Rose. And so Chuck actually had ties to this community before he came here with the Salvation Army. He was a sound guy in a band that played at Cousins.
No kidding.
So he was really into like audio, and he was a bigger than life kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I think what I really think, and I'm looking at Amy and Audrey, John, when we're on that bus together and you see people there, Audrey greeted me today and said, "Oh, it's my cousin," because she reminds me of my cousins in Connecticut, and we all become family, Amy, right? I mean, you're on the bus literally for days, and we get to know each other, and you're working together, this common goal. You're either freezing or sweating or both at the same time. You wind up meeting some great people. There are reunions on the bus, people that we've seen year after year. We've watched kids grow up. This particular family that shows up every year, and I hope that they make it this year. But they've been coming. Actually, the mom came when she was pregnant with one girl, and this one girl is in college now. I mean, so you get to see what it means to people, not just the people that received, like I said, these guys have that envious position, difficult sometimes, but you get to see these people and you say hi and you get to thank them firsthand. You get to say, my God, I know where this food is going. Thank you. And these guys thank them personally. And I think it's an important connection for all of them.
So maybe we should allow one of and I don't know who wants to jump in first, just identify who you are, who you're with, and how long you've been involved and all that kind of stuff, if you would.
Sure. My name is Amy Scott. My name is Amy Scott. I work for Brock Community Action. I'm the food program manager for Rutland and Bennington counties. And this is my fourth year being involved in Stuff-A-Bus. I'm also lucky enough that it falls on my birthday every year. So I get to spend my birthday on November 7th packing the bus with Terry J and all of my friends from the Rutland Community Cupboard and the Salvation Army. And this has always felt like such a great opportunity for the three organizations to come together and show solidarity in Rutland County and just show that we're all working for the community here in Rutland County, and that the food that Rutland County is giving to us is available to everyone who shops with us. And it's a really important thing. It's important for folks to know that this food is really going out to the people who are the most vulnerable here in Rutland County. And we're talking a lot of people with disabilities, a lot of senior citizens, and a lot of families with children. Things are so incredibly difficult now. We just saw the whole shakeup with Three Squares Vermont, and 39,000 people in the state of Vermont receive Three Squares benefits. So those 39,000 people didn't know yesterday if their Three Squares benefits were coming in and if they were going to have enough money to buy food. So the fact that we're all sitting here today and we're talking on the radio in Rutland County and asking for folks to come down and meet us at Stuff-A-Bus this year and drop off, walk into Price Chopper, pick something up, and come back out and say hey to Terry J and drop things off on the bus. I think that this is going to be an exceptional moment in time for us to really support our community and for our community to show us and everybody else what we can do when we do it together. And I think that that's really super important. So that's just me. That's all of my things to say, and I'll let Audrey go.
Well said.
Thank you.
Good morning. Well, I just wanted to say that we are very used to being elbow to elbow. We're always all in the trenches, and we're working together to feed this community as a team, because we can't do it without the whole community behind us and working together. We each have our own unique pieces, but the goal is always the same, to feed our neighbors. And I know that some people maybe don't feel that they are able to donate food, but remember, we always need volunteers, and your time is very valuable. We have a great time down there, and we have seen everyone from little people to a woman coming from a nursing home to donate food. It's always exciting to see who shows up. And for us, it's like Old Home Day. It's a great food raiser. And we always need your help. I know right now I spent half of yesterday going from store to store looking for certain items that were remotely within my budget so that my clients had food to get off my counters last night. And I know that we're all struggling with that, and Stuff-A-Bus really takes us into the winter. It helps so much, you have no idea. And it's like a holiday for people to come in and see the amazing, thoughtful variety that people donate. We love to see you and receive your gifts.
What a great kickoff for the holiday. What a great kickoff for the holiday season. Yeah. Donating around Thanksgiving and donating around Christmas time, because you know that, folks, as opposed to having to spend that extra money to be able to, they could maybe purchase a couple of gifts for their family members. And that's a real struggle. So yeah, coming in around the holidays and getting together, and, it has that jovial spirit. And if you want to catch that, it's a good place to come down and do it with us.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We already started collecting signatures for, requests for Thanksgiving food baskets, which ends today actually. And between the Council on Aging and us, we're up to about 75 baskets of food for individuals, both seniors and, as they were saying, young people who just can't make it right now. They have a few kids and the jobs aren't here, for instance, and if these food stamps stop, they won't know what they have to do. So we have to get prepared to help these people through this crisis as best we can. The three of us care enough that that's what we want to do. Okay, we need to help these people. And I'm praying that we get those buses really filled, because I have a smaller agency than these two, but my numbers went from 5 or 6 families a day to 15 to 17 families a day, and I'm getting new people every week. So I know the need is really great out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're battling a couple of things here, federal cuts to all the various programs that people have come to rely on. And then the second thing, and we haven't bounced back entirely from the inflationary pressures that go on the food. I mean, all you got to do is, when you go to the store to shop, And the manufacturers are pretty slick about this. So the price went up a little bit on a box of crackers, but at the same time, the box got smaller, and there's fewer pieces of whatever it is you're buying inside the box.
Shrinkflation.
So, yeah, it's
And gradation.
it's a double-edged sword here, with fewer resources coming from the federal government and the inflationary pressures that continue to exhibit themselves. So we're hopeful, again, that a lot of people can get out this coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for this year's Stuff-A-Bus. And we will take one break here along the way, but when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other things that your groups do, your associations, and we will do that when we come back here on Catamount Community Connection. We're back on Catamount Community Connection, and this week we're talking with Terry J. and John Pedone from the Salvation Army, also Amy Scott from Brock, the Bennington-Rutland Opportunity Council, and Audrey Bridge from the Community Cupboard. And we're trying to put a little spotlight on an event that's coming up this coming week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's called Stuff-A-Bus, for those of you that, well, have been under a rock for the last 30 years and don't know anything about it. This is when we all get together in various shopping locations, grocery shopping locations, and maybe, you know, at one point, I'm sure if you spent an extra $5 or $10, it was a lot. Things are different now. But you know, when you're doing your own weekly shopping for your family, if you just get a couple more items than you would have, and then go out to the bus and put them in the bus, that's what it's all about. And then Saturday, as John pointed out, I guess we go till about noonish, and then all the stuff gets sorted out and distributed to the three participating agencies. One of the things we probably ought to talk about is, what is it that we're looking for? As much as, you know, we'd love to have you bake a pie and bring a pie down, we can't do that. We just can't use those things. So it's got to be non-perishable. And somebody mentioned something about no glass too, right?
Right. We would prefer no glass because we want to protect our volunteers. You know, they're already working their fingers to the bones. We don't want them bleeding. And the other thing that's really important is if we have items with pop tops. Many of our clientele are not living in situations where they would be able to have a can opener.
Oh, okay.
So,
you know, I would never have thought that.
Yeah, and the other thing is complete meals in a can are very helpful. You know, if they can just pop it and eat it, there's definitely a large number of people in the Rutland community that are living right on the edge. There's, you know, we're 6% of the state, and we have 21% of the homeless people. So we've got to remember them as an important factor.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there's some suggestions about what not to do. Here's another one that you can do, and it probably is easier for some people. Money. You know, there's nothing wrong with coming into the bus and writing a check or cash, or somehow, is there a way for someone to use a credit card or anything like that? Or are we kind of working on that down the road?
Yeah, we have QR codes that will bring people to the site for Heritage Cares for You. Heritage Credit Union has been amazing and has put up a $2,500 or $2,500 match for folks that make donations through their through the portal for Heritage Cares for You. So you'll see that QR code on a lot of the advertising for Stuff-A-Bus, and it should be in the grocery stores, and so you can actually just walk over and hit it, just like you would be, you know, throwing a couple of dollars to a guy that's playing you songs on the street. So it's an easy thing to do. We make donation really easy, and Heritage doubles it up to $2,500. They have in the past, and we're really thankful for it.
Yep, I understand from talking to Terry, they're also sponsoring our broadcasts on the radio, Heritage Family Credit Union, and so we're happy to have them aboard as a strong supporter of Stuff-A-Bus, because it's very important.
Yeah. Heritage, also we mentioned, John mentioned that the kids are shouting stuff that bus. Well, Heritage was a big part of getting those kids together from Northeast School back in the day. And I think of all the people that have been involved. Again, those Northeast School kids, that came on those first buses, my God, they've got kids of their own now. And I want to just say thank you to Heritage for doing that, but also for helping to create the next generation of givers. And we talked about these families that come back year and again. Bri, you and I have seen it with the Christmas Fund, families that come back year and year again. I think that it's not just one and done. We want people to help out with Stuff a Bus, but we want people to help out with the Salvation Army, Brock Community Action, and the Community Cupboard all the time. They're always looking for volunteers. So we're not one and done. I think if people do this and they know what it means to the community, that's why they bring their grandkids, their nieces and nephews. Scout troops have memories of coming down here when they were just kids. That we're creating a Rutland community that gets it. And these guys are all nodding their heads because we just don't want to do this. All right, hey, we did Stuff a Bus, and I'm always wondering if it will go out of style. We'll giving.
I hope the need goes.
Yeah,
I hope the need goes away.
We'd love to put these three out of business. And you and I have said this. Hey, Brian and I have been working on the Christmas Fund for a million years. First of all, a lot of the ideas that I had for Stuff a Bus, I took directly from the Christmas Fund because it's the same message. It's about making sure that it's generational. Poverty sometimes is generational. Why can't the solution be generational as well? And I think these guys do a lot to address that. I mean, when those buses come in with those kids, we're not just taking their food. We're giving them memories and impressions that hopefully will never, ever die, that will never go away.
It's important to... Go ahead, Audrey.
Us and Captain Credit Union.
Yes.
He's a big inspiration.
Yes, he is.
He's amazing.
Yeah, so bring the kids down because he'll be at the bus on Thursday and Friday and Saturday.
He can't fly.
He can't fly. But kids, if you bring your kids down, take pictures with Captain Credit Union. He's there for the duration of this food drive.
And again, I think it's important that we mention the localness of this. There are very many fine institutions and entities that are nationally organized, and the American Cancer Society, or pick whatever your favorite one is. This is strictly local, and all the food that you donate or money, either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday this week, and we'll give you the locations again in just a second where you can go to do that, stays local because, as John mentioned, when it's all said and done on Saturday, all the stuff gets to a point. I don't know where you do it anymore. I think at one point it used to be at the post office, that annex building, which is now probably not available. Anyway, wherever you go to put all the stuff together, and then they divide it up three ways. So where is that done? I'm just kind of curious now.
It's in the parking lot at Rutland Community Cupboard at 12:30 on Saturday, and we can use all the hands we can get.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about volunteers, Audrey, here in just a second, because this isn't something that the three of them can do on their own. It's spread out over a number of different bodies. Like I'm doing by the time you hear this, it'll be long in the past, but the Haunted House, which is the Pittsford Volunteer Fire Department's annual event, takes over 200 or 300 volunteers to pull that off. It isn't just 10 guys from the volunteer fire department doing it. They try to get a lot of people involved. So this is an event which also, out of necessity, has to involve many, many people. So, but I think, again, the important thing, if you're listening and you're saying, well, okay, this sounds like a pretty good idea, but I don't want my food to go up to Burlington, or I don't want my food to go to Rhode Island. Yeah. It's not going to.
I was just thinking the Haunted House had something really scary this year. They had a politician there.
Well, I think there's more than one, actually. But, yeah. And I've been riding the wagons up there for about 10, 12 years, so it's been it's just a fun thing to do.
I'm on the wagon, too.
Yeah. So that's what I've heard. volunteers, let's talk about that for a second. What kind of job could somebody do, and how would they get a hold of people to say, okay, I'd like to help out in some fashion?
Are we talking about Stuff-A-Bus or in general?
Well, either way, yeah.
Well, anytime someone wants to volunteer, they can just reach out to us at Community Cupboard, and I would think any of these agencies. We have job descriptions.
Okay.
And we also have an agreement, because everything that's seen at Community Cupboard is considered confidential. We want to always approach our visitors with respect, and expect the same coming back towards us. So they can just drop by, see the job descriptions for my organization anyway, and we'd be happy to sign them up. This isn't something that just myself and my part-time employee can take care of. It takes so much more. Hours and hours of work. It has to happen with volunteers, because we want every cent we have to go into food.
Sure, yeah.
And that definitely stays local.
And I know, Amy, I've been up to Brock before. Of course, Tom Donahue's a familiar voice and face here at the stations. And through a lot of hard work, and this is probably 3 or 4 years ago now, money was found for a big freezer there, as I recall. And I got a tour when it was going in, and that really has made a big difference, I bet, in what you guys do.
It's really incredible. The freezer fund was started before I started working there. So when I started working at Brock Community Action, I found out that we were the only food shelf in our area that had the capacity for a walk-in freezer. And what that's changed for us is being able to accept more food from different places, because we're able to store it for a little while longer, but it also gives us the opportunity to help out. So if John or Audrey needed something that they couldn't get, all they have to do is call me, and we have things that are on our shelves that we would let them borrow at any time. So it gives us the chance to be able to give back to the people that we work with in our community.
I want to ask you a question, Amy. Tom said you've just recently expanded your hours of service, too.
We did. So, I mean, in response to all of the stress and the fear of things that are going on, and the fact that families have a difficult time. A lot of nonprofits are not funded to have staff that are there after hours, but people work from 8 to 5. And the people that are out there right now that we are seeing are families that are struggling. I mean, I think about it, I don't have children, but what would I do if I had to feed 3 kids on a 2-parent income and pay all of your bills right now? It's really getting impossible for the regular Vermont family to be able to afford it.
You mentioned that people are working.
Right.
They're not just sitting around watching TV waiting for handouts.
Right. So we expanded our hours in the hopes that we would be able to open up the opportunity for more people to be able to come in and shop with us. More just to give them a little bit more time. So we used to be open from 10 to 12 every day, Monday through Friday, with the senior hour on Friday afternoons. We're still doing the senior hour on Friday afternoons, but now we're open from 11 to 3 every day for shopping. And then on Fridays, we close from 2 to 3 just for seniors. So, and that senior hour is incredibly popular. But to see seniors lining up for the food shelf every Friday is something that we would like to see less of. So, and the fact that Rutland County is pulling together and donating all of this food for Stuff-A-Bus, it gives them, the food that's donated for Stuff-A-Bus is not your typical pantry food. So it gives folks some variation on the things that I'm able to carry. So all of the time, like we have, basic staples, but it's nice to see name brand things. And it's nice for kids to be able to come in and pick out snacks that they see their friends having at school. Because, for some families, it's really difficult to, serve things that are not that like commodity looking things. So it's really
everybody
cool to do this
deserves
for them.
a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. And a healthy treat. I mean, the amount of fruits and vegetables and the amount of, like, those are the things that we're really, like, we feed our families as healthy as we possibly can as well, because hunger is a public health crisis. So if we're taking care of the people that are coming in, we're taking care of our seniors, we're taking care of disabled folks, we're taking care of children. Let's do it in a healthy way and just hope that, we can keep those medical bills down for everybody by feeding them healthy foods.
Brian asked about volunteers, and you recently lost a great volunteer that was a friend to the radio stations, by the way. I'm thinking of Brenda.
Brenda Miglis. So
Brenda used to come in here and try to feed me all the time.
I'm so glad you know her. She absolutely incredible.
So I just want to say volunteers are the lifeblood of these organizations, and she was a good one.
Thank you for thinking of her.
She loved feeding people.
It was the Italian in her, I feel. So.
And she also volunteered at Community Cupboard.
Yeah, she was everywhere.
She got around.
And she'd be happy to announce that on the radio. So.
Yes, she would.
We're talking to John Pedone from the Salvation Army, Amy Scott from Brock, and Audrey Bridge from the Community Cupboard. And Terry J. is with us as well. We're talking about the 2025 Stuff-A-Bus, which is coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And why don't we tell people again which stores they can go to. And we've talked a little bit about what they should, bring. It's got to be non-perishable, so it can be stored, obviously, on shelves for a while. But where do we want to shop?
We want to shop at Market 32 downtown. We want to stop at the Grand Union on North Main Street, and the Price Chop in West Rutland. And did I say Hannaford? Hannaford's in Rutland Town. Okay. Yeah, those 4 units. There will be a bus out front of every one of them. And we just need you to go in the store, find our list that Audrey made up, that you can see what we need. And again, no glass, please.
Okay. And Pop-Tops.
Pop-Tops. For me, that's really important, because a lot of my clients come from the local hotels, which are around the corner from my site, and they only have microwaves. So if it doesn't pop open easily, because we don't have can openers, so that's what the problem is.
I'm always afraid I'm going to cut my finger with a can opener anyway. So.
Well, you're gentle. You're delicate. We aren't.
Okay. We thank the Heritage Family Credit Union again, one of a great community sponsors, and they're sponsoring our radio broadcast, but they're also way back in front and out behind and supporting the Stuff-A-Bus event. The bus should also probably get a nod. Because we couldn't. If
thank you, bus.
Thanks stuff a bus. So if we didn't have the bus, there's nothing we could stuff. So thank you to the bus, the Marble Valley Transit bus, to be fair, and those guys work hard too. They got to move that bus back and forth and stay on it. I mean, I know it's fun to be on the radio, but if you're just sitting there in your driver's seat, that can kind of get old pretty quickly too, I imagine.
And they get there so early in the morning, and they have the bus warmed up for us. They're out there a lot earlier than we are. They're great patriots.
Yeah. Okay, let's take our second break here on Catamount Community Connection. And again, we're talking about Stuff-A-Bus for this year, 2025, which is now 30 years old, 30 plus. And we will be back here on Catamount Community Connection in just a minute. Welcome back to Catamount Community Connection, our weekly public affairs show here on the 5 radio stations. And today we're talking about Stuff-A-Bus. Our show, by the way, is brought to you by the Rutland County Agricultural Society, which has brought you the Vermont State Fair at Rutland since 1846. And ladies and gentlemen, the 180th Vermont State Fair is coming up next August, 2026. Looking forward to attending the fair, and thank you to the Rutland County Ag Society for sponsoring our show each week. I'm Brian Collamore, and joining us this week, Terry J., John Pedone, Amy Scott, and Audrey Bridge, and we're talking about the 2025 Stuff-A-Bus event, which is coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Audrey was just talking about, so we get all the stuff together, and then we divvy it up in the third piles or 3 piles, and then you have help actually putting them in a storage facility. And you told a kind of a cute story about some of the scouts that have come in.
Yes, we've been really fortunate to get the Cub Scouts to come in. We have a room set up just for when we do a food drive, and then we sort it into categories so we can shelve it. And we've had the Cub Scouts come, and they are just adorable. They run up to you, thrust a can in your face, and say, "What's this say?" Because they know they're supposed to sort it, but they don't know how to read. So each child brings a parent who helps them. It's just a wonderful... I'm a firm believer in everyone in the community has a job at our food shelf, you know, from people who are disabled to young children to seniors who don't have a lot of mobility necessarily. There's something for everyone to do, and they get the idea that they're supposed to be out there supporting their community and helping others, and it's a blast. Yeah. It really is.
And Terry's mentioned that, and it's a phenomenon that makes any particular event successful to the extent that they can make new people all the time. I mean, when you and I first started on the Christmas Fund, we were in our 20s, and we're a few years beyond that. But when we're not here anymore, I mean, there's got to be somebody to take your spot after, or the whole thing just sort of goes away.
Well, again, I always, that is my biggest fear, is that will this go out of style? I mean, and like these guys said, there would be nothing better than to put them out of business. Like, hey, hunger's no longer an issue. Sorry, Audrey, we got to let you go. Amy, you're gonna have to find something else to do. John, you can ref soccer full time now. John's like, no, please. But first of all, these people are passionate, Brian. You can hear it in their voices. Sure. They're passionate. They care, and I think sometimes. You know, I'm thinking of that Bruce Hornsby song, That's Just the Way It Is. If you know the lyrics to that song, you know what I'm talking about, where you see people and you just walk by. And when we get involved, you not so much because you're one of our reps. I mean, you're a state senator. You get a lot more involved in things now than the average citizen. But a lot of times, if I'm just on my daily routine, I don't notice the people that need help. I mean, I'm busy. You know, I'm motoring by. You know, but every day, if you open your eyes and you look, there are people out there, and thank God for these agencies that care enough. And it's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm busy.
And most of the people that need help that are in our community are not people that you would notice, because they're not people that are on the side of the road.
Thank you for saying that.
Who are trying to use their EBT card in the grocery store, and it's not going through because they didn't have enough money on it. And now they're trying to dig through the wallet and find an extra 75 cents so that they can get their milk home. So, I mean, that's really what we're up against. I mean, this is a large portion of our community, and it's more folks than you know of, and it's invisible. I mean,
we hear about the working poor as a cliche that you hear about on the news all the time. Mm-hmm. It's not just a news story for you guys.
No, it's not, and it's there are more and more and more folks that are having trouble affording their groceries, and they're with this. With the government shutdown and all of this stuff going on, we had people that were proactively coming to shop at our food shelf for the last couple of weeks. People that are stocking up because they knew that there was going to be some changes and they didn't know what they were. People are very, very afraid, and it comes out in their emotions, and it's difficult, and so we're fighting a lot of uphill battles. So feeling that support and watching that bus fill up with stuff for those next several days is going to be so heartwarming for all of us. Stuff a Bus is a chance for our community to show us what they can do in order to support us and how we support each other. So it gives, you all that are listening to this radio show and listening to me drone on about it, but, it gives us the opportunity to see what you can bring to the table. And literally, you're bringing it to the table. Wow. So, it's really exciting.
Yeah, this is, when you have a regular job, if you're an employer or an employee, I always worked. And you don't see, as Terry was saying, you don't see it because you're not involved. Now, I started getting involved. I was with the Boys and Girls Club for a few years, and I started seeing a lot of people around that I haven't seen. And these kids are really suffering because the parents are suffering. And I saw a lot of different things go on. Now, in this job, I really have a hands-on with people in need. And because of my spirit side, this is what I need to be doing, And we have a great, what's handed down to me from my superiors is, this is the way you do it. No matter who comes in that door, you help them out. Some will not really need it. That doesn't matter. Just remember the people who need it, the 85% that need it, you have to help. The only thing we ask for is an ID. Other than that, the state makes us ask for certain issues, but we're blind to anything. No matter who comes in that door, it's an individual who needs help. I don't care what you look like, where you've been, what you're going through, you can tell me. And we don't just do the food at Salvation Army, we also help with social services. So it's there, and Terry was right, we never see it because we're not involved.
Hey, we drive by places that people live that if you ever had that door open, you'd be astonished at the way they live. So,
well, Brian, I know where you're coming from on that, because the early days of the Christmas Fund, we knocked on doors on Christmas Eve and made house calls. And I think for me, that was the first wake-up call. We
have the kids come and they drop the food off for us at Stephabus. And we've talked about how exciting that is and how much fun it is for the kids to be there, and we're so thankful. The thing that most people don't notice are the children that are waving to me on the way out, because those families are the ones that are shopping with us, and the children recognize me from their grocery shopping.
Wait. What you're saying is the kids that are bringing in the food are coming back to get the food?
Yes. And that happens every year. So, and I you try, because you don't want, we keep things very confidential. We are the same way. We don't share information. At Brock Community Action, you can shop at our food shelf if you live in Rutland County. That's our criteria for being able to shop at Brock Community Action's food shelf in Rutland County. So we see a lot of families and a lot of children, especially during that school break. Yeah. We're feeding all of these kids during when school meals aren't available. So, so this, the holiday season, you think about kids will eat you out of house and home.
Well, I've got a question, Bri. How long does this food last? Because people have said to me, "Oh, you're doing another food drive," and I'm like, "Well, people eat it. We're not collecting it. It disappears." So, how long does it last?
Not all the way to the mail carrier food drive. Yeah. Our shelves are empty then. So, our back stock, that is.
It's probably hard to answer that, because there's a growing list of people that are seemingly in need. And again, there's inflation pressuring the prices and the unfortunate cutback from the federal government. So it's a continuing challenge. And maybe some weeks it's better and some weeks it's worse. I don't know.
Maybe the question is, how long can we make it last, Rutland?
Yeah.
How long can we make it last? Yeah. We'll let you know next year.
So speaking of that, what kind of products are we looking for on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? It's got to be non-perishable. So I'm talking canned stuff for the most part.
For the most part, but we also want to remind people that everybody needs shampoo. We all need soap.
Yeah.
Food coverage products are very helpful, but A huge one at my place anyway is pineapple. For some reason, we can't get that from the Vermont Food Bank, so it's a very exciting thing. Chili, beef stew. There again, those are both ready-to-eat items. Cereals, great.
Cake mixes.
Peanut butter.
Pie tins.
Peanut butter and jelly. Anybody can eat peanut butter. Unless you're allergic to peanuts, I do understand that. And also when you think about that, think of alternative foods. So some of the gluten-free products that are out there are $1 million. And guess what? Not everybody that eats gluten-free is doing it because they want to. A lot of folks that are eating gluten-free are doing it because of medical reasons. And those medical bills are the same reasons why they can't just go out and buy all the gluten-free food that they need. So when you think about that, think about people from other cultures. Rice is really important. Lentils, dried beans.
Tea.
And condiments. We really appreciate condiments.
Yeah.
So salt
Paper
and pepper.
products also. Paper products. People need paper products. I won't get into details, but they need them.
So not just canned food. Get creative. And some of it can be light, like it doesn't have to be. We can stuff that bus better with light stuff. And then, we'll stuff one full of light stuff and one full of heavy stuff. So
And no glass and Pop-Tops if you can.
Yeah.
What about pet food?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. The pets need to eat too.
Yeah, we need canned. The canned pet food is really what we're looking for, I think, because the bag stuff, we can get some of it, but the canned pet food
And I do have to say that cat food has been more difficult.
Yes, cat food is terrible
It has
to
been
get.
more difficult than dog
Yes.
food, we've found. So cat food, even cat litter, those kind of things. I mean, I don't want to take away from the food because I know that that's really the important thing that we're here for. But, things for people's pets. Pets are incredibly
If I'm living with me and my cat, that cat ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I'm going to he's my buddy. He's my family.
Absolutely. Yeah, we all feel that about our pets. So, and that's not an income thing, folks. That's just a human thing.
So are we going to be able to go to social media and see lists of things on your websites?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Definitely. I know on our Facebook page and our website.
And you can give the
find that
addresses there.
information. And if you find yourself needing to be a recipient, you can find our hours.
Okay.
So
And what's the
feel free.
address for your websites?
RutlandCommunityCupboard.org.
.org, okay.
We are brocbrock.org.
Okay.
SalvationArmy.org.
Okay.
So there are people that are tuned in that have not used services, that probably need services, and how would you encourage those people if they need help, but maybe they're too proud, or maybe they just don't know how to do it? What should they do?
So there's a couple of different options. I know for me, at brock.org, you can go on our website, go under food shelves, and it's under things we do, and you can sign up privately from the computer. So you don't even have to come in and fill out paperwork with us. You can actually do it all online. It's just some stuff that we collect for data. And then you can come in and shop with us on the first day that you come in. So, yeah, and so that is easy. For some folks, it's not easy, and some folks don't have internet. So you can always also call Brock Community Action. And I know that the same probably goes for the Community Cupboard and Salvation Army.
Certainly for Community Cupboard, it's the same thing, with the exception of you do have to fill out a short form with us. But I would like to point out to everyone that every day we have a senior hour. So please consider which group you're in when you're coming, because it's frustrating to get there and be told you have to wait 45 minutes. We really don't want to do that to anyone. We consider 65 and older senior.
So we just do, you come in and just have an ID with you, and you fill out a simple one-page form, and you can get food that day. If we're open that day, you can get food that day. Now, we also have people who are disabled, and they have a case manager. The case manager can come in, or someone's sister, if she can't get out of the house, signs the person up, and they can come in, and they're noted. We note that this person is not the person whose name's on the form a representative. I have a nurse from Rutland Regional Medical Center has cancer patients who are in dialysis, and she stops by even before her opening because she's on her way to work.
Yeah.
And we have the clients list, and she picks up their food for them. She signed them up for Thanksgiving turkeys, and you can do that. So if you're disabled and you have someone in your family, can come in and pick up the food for you. You don't have to come in. But I still need a form filled out for that person.
Okay. We have about a minute left, so I'll just remind people again, the 2025 Stuff-A-Bus event is this coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can shop at, is it Price Chopper or Market 32 in West Rutland?
Price Chopper. It's not Market 30.
It isn't.
It's not Market 32 yet. It's going to be, I believe, but they're
All
not
right.
yet.
I thought I saw the sign up already, but I could be wrong. It's the only big grocery store in West Rutland. How about that?
The only grocery.
So get over to West Side if you're over that way. Hannaford in Rutland Town on South Main Street, Market 32 downtown Rutland, or the Grand Union at the corner of Routes 4 and 7 in Rutland. And those are the places you can do it. And again, the event is coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we hope to get a very, very full buses, as much as we can stuff into a bus, because there is great need. And we say it every year, it's probably greater than it was the year before, but I mean, that's the reality of things. It really is. So hopefully we'll have a very, very successful Stuff-A-Bus this year. John Pedone from Salvation Army, Amy Scott from Brock and Audrey Bridge from the Community Cupboard, and Terry J., thank you so much for being on with us today. And we'll have you back at some point and get a report. So there you go. And we'll see all of you next week here on Catamount Community Connection.